AQ's Blog and Grill.
Beertown.
Yeah.
Now, come on, that's an inspiration. How did that come about?
That was really about sitting down and saying, what do we know? What are we guessing? Where are things going? Certainly in our existing restaurants, we're seeing a passion for craft beer. Craft beer, all things crafted. And I started putting together this business model, or this little Jerry Maguire moment, this 12-page thing of what we have to do to run our businesses.
Right.
And around that time, I went into, my wife sent me for milk at Shoppers Drug Mart one Saturday morning, and I went in and there was a GQ magazine. And in the bottom left corner, there was a little caption that said, "The Birth of the Modern Beer Bar." And to me, that was just, it was just on. You just kind of went, that's so cool. It reminded me of The Birth of Cool, Miles Davis,
Yes.
And so very quickly, I talked with a good friend of mine, George, who is the CEO of Brick. And I said, hey, what do you think of this? I'm thinking of this, what do you... And I went down to New York right away, and he hooked me up with one of the beer importers down there. We hit all the spots, and I just said, this is, to me, this is where the puck is going.
Right.
And that is very much about people are looking for something extraordinary, something crafted, something that comes from an individual, something that has, crafted from, I use this terminology in our company with the head, the heart, and the hand.
Yeah. You've got a beer town in London now.
Yeah. Part of where the puck was going was knowing that there was going to be a series of restaurants that were going to be having troubles. And so I knew that there was certain chains out there and certain groups that weren't delivering on a lot of the things that they needed to. Right. And therefore, when part of that 11-page Jerry Maguire moment was, there's going to be an opportunity here to get in at lower capital costs and get into smaller units. Smaller units are a way of the future. We see the way utility prices are going. You see capital costs, et cetera. And so part of it was saying, well, geez, some of these, as these restaurants close up, there's going to be some premium opportunities out there. It would be great to have something that works in different markets and can fit into some of these opportunities that are coming up. London now going into a community where there's a lot of people. It's, the Charcoal Steakhouse, Nestle Road Pie, Pigtails. We hear it all the time down there.
That's right.
So we have an opportunity. We've already, if the first impression's already there for a lot of guests, and we have to now deliver on those promises and what people are expecting. But we look at maybe, as part of our growth, London might be an area that we could possibly look at Dell's or a Wildcraft, or doing something else along those lines, and continue to build that relationship with that community, because, and that's to me really what it is. I think the days where somebody says, I'm going to drop 40 of these things in the next 2 years and just pop these restaurants down, or any type of business, without thinking through how to become interwoven with the fabric of a community. Right. I think that those days are changing.
Yeah. You don't seem to have a lot of turnover. I imagine there's some. Yet they all seem to have a spirit about them. How do you encourage that? How do you maintain that?
Hiring good people out of the gate who truly have a heart to want to take care of people.
That's excellent.
That's a critical part of it. And I think we have to be very proactive to try and learn from every time that something doesn't work out. Right. Because there are those moments for us. We have 700 employees. So you go through, you go through the process, and ideally, we find very quickly that someone might be more successful elsewhere than they would be with us. And I think the people that are there, you want to make sure that they know that they're valued, and that that they're a big part of the success of all of this. So when we talk about Nikki and Stephanie and Ashley, and the list can go on, Conrad, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Those are great people, and we pride ourselves in those. And we also make retention of great people one of our priorities, right? Our two priorities are retention of great people and building guest counts. And we say we're going to focus on those things. A profitable growth in guest counts, not through discounting and not through coupons all over the place, but because people have a great time experience, they see a value equation that they feel is worth repeating, and we deliver that over and over again. Those are our goals.
AQ's Blog and Grill.